Star Wars: Dark Vision, written by Lathan D., is Sean O'Quinn Sr. A long time ago, before Jedi Master Lord Hoth detonated the thought bomb, before Darth Bane's rule of two, the Jedi and the Sith continue to fight multiple wars throughout the known galaxy, leaving paths of division and destruction across countless planets, forcing Force users to serve either the light or the dark side of the Force. Both Sith and Jedi have ripped families apart by taking Force-sensitive children from their parents to train at their academies. The planet Yelsia, located in the Outer Rim, is an undeveloped world characterized by its lush green vegetation and extensive bodies of water. Yelsia is orbited by 2 moons and a large asteroid. The planet is home to many different uncorrupted forms of life, from the depths of its seas to the highest mountain peaks. The planet's native people, animals, vegetation, surface, and interior have an almost synergistic relationship. The planet has a sense of calm and serenity. However, as of late, this relationship has been disturbed. A large-framed man, 6 feet 5 inches, lean yet muscular, his skin a grayish translucence and his beard a stark white. His face is weathered from years of exposure to the elements, having been on countless different worlds. He wears the robes of an ancient Jedi, adorned with thick golden bracelets. The bracelets could easily be mistaken for weapons capable of striking a foe or turning aside an attack. With his eyes closed, the figure hovers, cross-legged over the edge of a deep gorge, lost in meditation. Suddenly, a large fur-covered mammal bursts through the foliage. All 6 of its legs dig into the soil as it struggles to halt its momentum at the cliff's edge. Terror burns in the animal's eyes, as though it has seen another of its kind fall to its death before. The Force user feeds on that fear. The beast trembles, yet instead of plunging to its death, it rises into the air. Suspended above the gorge, its limbs become perfectly still, though its eyes remain wide with terror. Through the Force, the man rotates the animal slowly, spinning it several times in the air. The scene shifts to the creature's perspective. The man above the gorge, seen through a dizzying kaleidoscope haze as the world turns and turns. The man's expression is one of satisfaction and contempt. The view shifts back. The man lowers the animal gently to the cliff's edge, then releases it from his grasp. The freed beast bolts in the underbrush only for a loud crushing sound echo, followed by a blood-curdling yelp. The man has used the Force to shatter every bone in the creature's body. The intensity of the pain causes the animal's sudden death. What was the purpose of such cruelty, of such indifference? With a smirk, the man drifts back to solid ground and rises to his feet, clearly pleased with the outcome. From the distance come more cries of desperation, each ending abruptly in silence. This is no Jedi. This is no Sith. He is a dark practitioner, marked by the bright red sash at his waist. Dark practitioners believe the power of the dark side can be molded and tempered with the light. They reject the notion of absolute allegiance, neither consumed by the corruption of the dark, nor bound by the selflessness of the light. They walk a path of their own. They are a secretive order of varied humanoids, powerful wielders of the Force like the witches of Dathomir. They have hidden themselves in the Outer Rim for 1,000 years, far from the rigid codes of the Jedi and Sith. They rarely group together outside of the Outer Rim, to avoid being cataloged by any travelers. The gold bracelets they wear are made of a metal that helps to cloak the wearer from the presence of Force users. With years of training, they have mastered the ability to remove their presence from the Force. Dark practitioners believe both the Jedi Code and the Sith Code are oversimplified. Dark practitioners teach that emotions like fear, jealousy, pride, and greed to the Force can be bent to one's will. That personal attachments give life meaning, fuel their desire to seek eternal life, and that victory itself can be defined in many ways, shaped by self-serving motives. The Jedi Code places all Jedi in the service of others. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. The Sith Code is a half-truth. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. For the Sith code to be true, power cannot be held by many, only the chosen, who are strong and ruthless. The scene transitions to the bridge of a massive Jedi war cruiser, the Genesis, commanded by Admiral Rado, a medium brown-skinned female Dolothian. The vessel carries a complement of nearly 1,200 Jedi Masters, Knights, and young Padawans just from the Jedi Academy, freshly tested after their trials and temporarily reassigned for this fact-finding mission. 2 Jedi Masters stand on the bridge, speaking in hushed tones about their vague orders. Their mission: to investigate disturbances in the Force emanating from the Outer Rim, from the planet Yelsia. The Jedi Council fears that the Sith are trying to pervert the Force to upset the balance between good and evil to shift the outcome of the war. Jedi Master Quinish and Jedi Master Lathan speculate about what they may discover. Master Lathan hopes to discover a hidden Sith foothold or fleet they can destroy, delivering a significant blow that might halt any reinforcements to the Sith army. Master Quinish, however, hopes for something different: the discovery of a new ally, a friend, an end to the bloodshed, a chance for the Jedi to once again become the keepers of peace. Across the galaxy, the Jedi Masters turn toward the transparisteel viewport, stars stretching endlessly beyond. Quinish says, the Grand Jedi Master has spoken recurring visions of great suffering, of a darkness growing on Yelsia, but the source remains shielded, even from him. The Jedi Council has attempted to pierce the veil through meditation, but their sight is also clouded. Master Lathan nods his head in the direction of the other Master and remarks, this is why we are being sent. On the planet of Korriban, the Grand Sith Council, which is made up of 9 members, all of whom come from the richest, most powerful pure-blood Sith families. Each family representative is over 200 years old. The Council has ordered a ship to head to the planet of Yelsia. The Council feels a draining of the dark side of the Force, as an entity is trying to separate it from the Sith. The source of the drain is coming from varying points on the surface of Yelsia. The Council feels the Jedi might be working on a weapon to weaken or destroy the Sith. The Sith are very in tune with the dark side of the Force. They overuse the Force like children to perform daily tasks, such as picking up objects and assisting with Force walking. Force walking allows one to move quickly, appearing as a blurred form from one point to another. The more skilled Sith use the Force to communicate with others Sith over close and far distances. They utilize this mastery of the Force to distinguish themselves from lesser skilled users of the dark side. They also use their skills to manipulate weaker minds, bending them to their desires. The Sith starship Darth Namail is a prototype with cutting-edge technology. The ship is infused with dark side energy, allowing Sith engineers to troubleshoot problems using the Force. The vessel is crewed by 2,000 Sith. The captain, the lord of the ship, and the senior officers, under lords, are of pure blood heritage. The remaining junior officers and crew come from lesser families. The ship uses biotech conduits throughout its systems. The vessel is a large, black, intimidating warship with numerous laser turrets, featuring large hangar bay openings at the aft and stern, and is the newest ship in the Sith's naval fleet. The ship's hull glows with flicks of light. The flicks of light are used to absorb laser fire and deflected away from the starship's hull, which was part of the ship's new defensive system. As both ships travel towards the planet, a gathering of 500 like-minded individuals is being held in the dark of the night under the 2 moons of Yelisa. The meeting is not face-to-face, but mind-to-mind, unknown to the soon-to-be visitors. A group of dark practitioners are communicating through the Force. They have assembled themselves at the fault lines of the planet, which are the veins in which the Force flows through this planet. Each dark practitioner has mercilessly killed multiple people or animals near the fault lines to cause the planet to bleed into the Force with despair. This despair is what the Jedi and Sith councils are feeling. The planet is weeping. The Jedi feel the fear and loss of innocent life. The Sith feel the cruelty and pain of each victim and the joy in taking a life. The group has come to a consensus that their plan is working. A shift in the Force has revealed that the Jedi and Sith are coming to the planet. The group has decided that this confrontation would happen at a place and time of their choosing, and not as a result of the Jedi or spreading their war to the Outer Rim. The gathered dark side practitioners do not want their practice and Force-sensitive children revealed until their numbers are significant enough to go unchallenged. They do not want war with either side. They seek isolation to evolve. The Jedi ship arrives, and Admiral Rado decides to hide their approach to the planet behind a large asteroid orbiting the planet. The Jedi Masters decide to lead a landing party of 20 Jedi to the surface by shuttle. The shuttle heads to the planet, guided by the Jedi Masters, who are drawn by a sense of fear and dread coming from a valley on the planet. Once the shuttle lands, the Jedi walk into the jungle until they come to a clearing, where they see a group of 50 or more humans in a circle on the ground with visible injuries that are life-threatening. This is where the fear and dread is coming from. The Dark Practitioners have chosen this spot because this is where all the fault lines of the planet meet. It's where the force of the planet is most concentrated. As the Jedi approach to help the wounded, they are surrounded by a large group of Dark Practitioners who set this trap. Knowing the selfless nature of the Jedi and their desire to help all, this was an easy undertaking to trap the Jedi. The Dark Practitioners raise their arms, displaying the gold bracelets, and through the dark side of the Force, the Dark Practitioners crush the bones and internal organs of all the wounded humans, who cry out in pain. One of the Dark Practitioners says, "Jedi, see what your dogmatic code has led to." Jedi Quinnis shouts, "Identify yourself. This use is an abomination of the Force. It was never meant for such cruelty." The Jedi form a circle, steadying themselves in the Force to prepare for battle. An uncoordinated hiss and the steadying of lightsabers of varying colors come to life. Master Lathan jumps toward the closest Dark Practitioner, only to be frozen mid-air. The Dark Practitioner holds him there, and you hear a deafening crunch. Master Lathan's body folded in half and twisted like a crumpled piece of paper. The other Jedi are held in place as sweat beads on their faces, and the internal temperature of their blood quickly rises to the boiling point. Jedi Quinnis shouts, "Steady yourself in the Force." One by one, the Jedi explode, leaving behind blood-soaked robes and deactivated lightsabers where they stood. The Dark Practitioners are using techniques long forbidden by both the Jedi and Sith. On board the Jedi ship, the Admiral is trying to make contact with the landing party, with no results. She wants to advise them of the arrival of an unknown ship in the atmosphere above the planet. The Dark Practitioners sense the arrival of the Sith to the planet. They enter into a group hive-like meditation. The Dark Practitioners across the planet stand close to the nearest fault line. The group standing at the center of the fault lines acts as a conduit for the dark side. The Dark Practitioners across the planet remove their force-blocking bracelets, unleashing a violent shockwave into the Force, like lightning across the sky. The impact strikes both the Jedi on the cruiser and the arriving Sith, leaving them writhing in pain and confusion. Seizing the moment, the Dark Practitioners poison the current of the Force with whispers of envy and betrayal. The thoughts spread like venom, twisting the minds of the Sith until they turn their lightsabers inward, viciously striking each other down with their red lightsabers. The Jedi who are not in tune with the dark side are ripped from the consciousness of the Force, falling to the crippling pain of the sudden awareness of the Dark Practitioners. Sensing the chaos, the great Sith vessel reacts, believing its Sith masters to be traitors to the dark side. It shuts down life support and seals its control functions from the crew. A piercing scream erupts from its core, a sound so sharp it shatters the halls and forces the Sith to their knees, dropping their lightsabers. Clutching their heads in agony, the Sith lower the vessel, joined by the Underlords, reached out in desperation through the Force to send a message to the Sith Council. The Council, shaken by the onslaught of pain, gather their combined strength and sever the connection of cries and pain from the Sith and the Sith vessel, before the suffering could consume them as well. The interior of the Sith vessel is covered with dead Sith who have died from wounds inflicted by other Sith, or who died when the life support systems was turned off. The Dark Practitioners collectively guide the Sith ship through the Force on a collision course with the Jedi war cruiser. The two ships collide, and two blue fireballs momentarily expand from the center of the vessels to be extinguished by the vacuum of space. The The ships are totally destroyed with no survivors. The Jedi Council, feeling the immense loss of life in the Force, decides they cannot afford to confront another enemy until the Sith War ends, and orders that no civilian or military vessel travel to the planet of Elysia. The Sith Council decides that the Jedi or another group has the power to defeat their newest warship and its complement of Sith warriors. They would wait for the fight to come to them. The expedition to Elysia is wiped from the Sith journals to be never spoken of again. The Dark Practitioners, sensing the surrender of the Jedi and Sith in the Force, prepare to return to their separate worlds in the Outer Rim. However, their numbers would be far fewer. This preemptive strike had cost them the lives of half their Dark Practitioners. This was an acceptable outcome, weighing the risk of being discovered before they were ready, and hunted down and destroyed by two groups that oppose their very use of the Force was a price worth paying. The Dark Practitioners still know someday they would be discovered. Someday, a traveler would discover them and return to the core world with tales of their existence. Hopefully, they would be ready for that day.